Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. All right, y'all. Some people said they heard, some people said they knew what was going on. Some people knew about Joe Budden being on Club Shay Shay. I didn't know until the night before. And I watched both pretty closely. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. And I must say, it was a dope interview, man. It was a really good interview. I think for Shannon, he learned a lot on the business side, and I think, to be honest, I think he was surprised of how smart and business savvy Joe actually is. I think he was a little bit surprised by that. But to be honest, I was reading the comments when Shannon announced the interview on his YouTube feed, and I saw people like, "Oh, it's gonna be terrible," blah blah blah. I knew straight up it was gonna be a good interview because Shannon's usually interviewing comedians, athletes, actors, entertainers. He don't usually interview people in the same field as him, but the best at it. And it was informative. A lot of people learned a lot, I can guarantee you. Even though Joe was repeating some of the things that he had said before about business and how he likes to conduct business and go about the podcast space, I feel like it was a little bit more personal, this interview. And you could see, despite the way Joe covered Shannon when all of the scandals and all that stuff was going on, and the Cat Williams thing, all that stuff, you can tell that there's a mutual respect there for both men. You know what I'm saying? And I like that they put it to the side or got over it. Put it to the side or got over it for the sake of two black businessmen, two black content creators of a certain age doing things at astronomical levels. And I think it was a really good interview. If you didn't see it, go check it out. It was a really good interview. Like I said, Shannon, as usual, does his homework. Thorough research. So, and then he'll throw a little thing in there. He'll throw a little tidbit in there when he asks Joe about marriage. And Joe's quick enough, or maybe he was looking for a little bit of messiness. He's quick enough to catch it. You know what I'm saying? But it was a real entertaining interview. Shannon was in New York doing some things, so they ended up going by Say Less and doing the interview there. But it was a real enjoyable interview, man. Enjoyable, and it's gonna be a lot different than what people would expect, because Shannon even brought up the fact that Joe covered him and said he was messy and all that he wasn't messing with him no more. And Joe told him what it was, or told him what he felt. He ain't tell him what it was like that, but I mean, he told him what he felt, and he told him the reason why he said that. And then Shannon broke down the reason, how things went with Monique and Cat Williams and Ricky Smiley and all that. So it was just a dope interview, man, and it was two grown businessmen handling shit the way it should be handled when you get to the level that they're on. You know what I'm saying? It was no mess. It was no shade. Like some other podcasters and some other black podcasters in the space of sports entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's two names that come right to mind, but I'm not even going to throw them in on this because this is bigger than them. This was bigger than them, and this was a step in the right direction for people to see. You do something, I cover it. That don't mean I don't fuck with you at all. That just means you did something and I covered it, because it's all about content. It's all about money. It's all about clicks and views and all that good stuff. But it was no disrespect involved. It was no weaponizing of any fan base against anybody. And it really wasn't no type of way to get nobody canceled or get nobody looked at different. It was realistically, man. It was realistically a dope interview. And like it just showed how we should be moving as opposed to how we move anytime something goes on. And it's like, this ain't no forever beef. This ain't no beef. This is my publication covering whatever bonehead shit you did. And trust me, Shannon's old enough to know it was some bonehead shit he did. And how can the biggest podcast, they like to say urban space, but I like to say Joe and them is probably the best podcast when they really get it clicking and rolling, and not with the you know how sometimes they'll get goofy, and not goofy like clownish, but just like laughing and having fun, which is dope. But when they really get it going and dialed in and researched, bro, they one of the dopest podcasts out. I'm sorry. He just assembled a dope cast. He mix and match it. He puppet masters them, get them going, get them fired up. But when they really buckle down and do the research, can't nobody really mess with the Joe Budden podcast. And it was dope to see him on Shannon's podcast, where it could be a one-on-one real conversation, as opposed to him coming up to the pod and it's like 55 people up in there, and you know what I'm saying, a bunch of shit going on. And it was just dope to see that setting for those two dudes, and watching them get busy with it. But do me a favor, if y'all haven't checked it out, go check it out, man. I think it's gonna change your mind. It's definitely gonna change your perception of how two titans in the industry do business. But it's also gonna change what a lot of people thought about the interview. And like I said, Joe probably showed you how good he actually is, because he was kind of like controlling the interview, you know what I'm saying? Which is fire, even though, you know, Shannon got all the research done, all the cue cards and all that. But he kept going back to the business part. That's why I say, in my opinion, it was a masterclass by Joe, because Shannon kept going back to the business. They was off of that for a minute, talked about some personal stuff. Now I want to get back into the business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. Joe not gatekeeping his thoughts and feelings about how it should be ran. I like that, and that's what I like about Joe. And to me, that's what made that interview super dope. But y'all go check it out, man, and do me a favor, man. When you pull up, hit a like, share, subscribe for the algorithm. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.